Hey guys, today we're going to talk about discipline. Not discipline in your regular way of thinking of it as going to the gym day after day after day or showing up to work even when you don't want to. And those are good ways to think about discipline. But the way I'm going to share, or the type of discipline I'm going to share with you today is something I learned here at school in one of my classes, and it's changing my whole take on discipline. So, time management. Time is the only consistent thing we'll have in our lives throughout our life. It's the only currency we'll have that we're born with and that we don't have to earn and that we can spend however we want. Now, time is probably our most valuable currency, but we never learn how to spend it the right way or how to spend it in a beneficial way to our lives. Everyone talks about managing their time and doesn't know how to manage it, or thinks of managing their time as devoting, like, I'm going to spend an hour on this thing, or I'm going to spend an hour on this thing. But we should think of our time management as attention management, not time management. We're managing our attention. I know personally, I struggle to get off social media. That's why I'm doing this, because I see that all these other people are doing it, so why can't I, right? But social media is such a big part of our lives, especially in our generation, and we're kind of sucked into it. We want to be around people, we want to know what people are talking about, and when people are talking about social media, we get on social media. And that's totally understandable, but our attention management, especially when it comes to school or when it comes to work or our friends or our family or our other loved ones, like our boyfriends, our girlfriends, XYZ, we need to manage our attention and manage our contact with them. We can't be in a few different places at one time. Like, some kid in my class today tried to tell my teacher that there are more than 168 hours in a week because he can spend 3 hours on his phone at work while studying. And he said that he was doing all those things for 3 hours, and he did all of them for 3 hours. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this kid not able to focus or put all of his attention into one thing at a time? He was saying he needs his phone for music, or he needs his phone for TikTok just to scroll while he's studying. Or he's watching TV, studying, and scrolling through TikTok at the same time. And really, if we managed our attention to just one thing, we'd get so much more done, or we'd be so much more efficient. Like, instead of him watching TV and scrolling through TikTok at the same time he was studying, if he just studied, he would have been done 3 times faster, or he would have been done 66% faster if he just quit the other 2 things. Or let's say he becomes even less efficient by doing more things by multitasking. He's completing way less than a third of the work he could have done, or he's completing the same amount of work, but it takes 3 times longer for him to get it done. And if we all learned how to manage our attention and how to focus, we'd be much more productive and much better human beings. And I know myself, this means so much to me because I struggle with this so much myself. Today, I was writing a paper for my English class, and funny enough, it's due tomorrow, so I'll be working on it tonight after I'm done talking to you guys. But I've had the last 2 days, right, to write this paper. And I had a little over a week before that to write my rough draft and to start gathering things together. But instead, I waited till the last minute and procrastinated and did not manage my attention, I didn't manage my attention to put it towards my schoolwork or towards this paper specifically. And even while I'm working on my paper today, I'm giving my attention to other things. For example, Instagram, other social medias, YouTube, you guys. I feel like, or my reason for making this video was I need a brain break, or I need to be able to express my thoughts and emotions, because there's so much going through my head right now that there's no way I can focus on this paper. And when I'm speaking to you guys, when I'm saying that out loud, it sounds like I'm just being a baby and just to do it, right? But I'm telling you, when attention management is a skill and we can learn it. Instead of talking to my friends halfway through writing my paper or halfway through the first paragraph, and I'm going to sit down and try and work, but I'm focused on my phone, there goes 15 minutes. Or I talk to my friends, there goes 10 minutes. Or I get up to go get a snack, and I talk to my friends, and I watch a little bit of a show, and there goes 30 minutes. And we lose so much of our lives in those little intervals that we forget about and that will never be remembered. One thing I'm trying to do to make sure I get rid of those little intervals and I stay on task is, number one, writing it down. If I write something down and it's set right on top of my monitor and I know it's right there and I have to look at it and I can't check it off until it's done, it's going to stay on my mind and it's going to kind of eat at me and make me feel like I'm not completing what I told myself I'd do. And that's that kind of accountability part of it. Another thing is just removing the distractions. If you can get in your room and I tell your roommate you're going to work on a paper for a little while and ask what they're doing, and if they need to get in the room, you'll let them in. But if you lock the door and put your headphones on and just focus, you'll be so much more likely just to sit down and get your work done than if you have people walking in, talking to you, saying hi, or your roommate comes and sits down and has a conversation with you, or you hear people talking in the living room, watching a show, and the sound's up and you can hear it and you're like, whoa, let me go check that out. And those are just things that happen to me even tonight while I'm trying to write this paper. It's 11 o'clock right now and this thing's due tomorrow at 11 a.m. But attention management over time management. We want to manage our attention and break it down into so time management is the time, right? Our attention is what allows us to focus or to break up your chunks of time. So when we focus our attention on something, we're automatically devoting time to something. And breaking it down, that one extra step, allows us to kind of manage it just a little bit better. And that's one thing that I think everyone should do. For the sake of me getting to bed at a good time tonight, I'm going to cut this video a few minutes short. Got to be up early tomorrow and finish this paper, but love you guys. Thanks for watching. If you thought this was helpful in any way, please like and subscribe and leave a comment on how you're going to implement this in your life.